Chapter 11. Giant Octopus. Are you sure that's how you catch fish? White Fang felt confused. She was sitting beside the water with her tail submerged inside the cold water. Although she is a core formation realm spiritual beast, she still felt cold. He waved her tail inside the water at some intervals. According to Robert, it's to attract fish. She felt skeptical about this. Why would fish be attracted to her tail? It's not something delicious. But she did according to Robert's instructions. Your tail should not be torn apart from the ugfish, right? Till now Robert felt inappropriate to call that monster a fish. He is not worried that the fish will not take the bait. What he is worried about is whether she would be injured or not. You underestimate me too much. How can a low-level creature like that hurt me? White Fang said proudly. Not to mention even 100 will come, they will not be able to hurt her. Even though they are large, their strength is not that strong. Their cultivation is at most peak of chi condensation realm. That nothing for her. Hearing this, Robert was relieved. As long as it's safe, then he can catch fish easily. Then don't worry, we will eat fish today. Robert gave her a positive answer. Just then he saw a shadow appear in the water behind White Fang. Be careful, the fish has arrived behind you. If it bites your tail, then throw it in the air, and I will give killing blow. Robert felt worried, so he reminded her once more. Don't worry, leave it to me, White Fang said. She seems confident about this. Robert was still worried, but he has to do his job. He picked up a 3-meter-long harpoon he made. It cannot be called a harpoon anymore. He just sharpened one edge of the gigantic tree, and it's ready. Just then the fish surfaced and bit on White Fang's tail. He was ready to throw the harpoon as long as White Fang throws the fish in the air. Just as he thought White Fang will throw the fish in the air, he saw her wagging her tail. But the fish refused to leave her tail. White Fang became angry after seeing this, therefore, she slammed the fish on the ground. Boom! 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 The nearby frozen surface of the lake was cracked. The fish was slammed on the ground by White Fang several times. Then the fish was thrown in the air and landed in front of him. Why don't you use your weapon to kill it? Do it, or else the fish would escape. White Fang felt anxious seeing him standing there without doing anything. It's dead already. Robert felt speechless seeing this. He prepared so much, but it was of no use. He looked at the harpoon he made. Should he throw it away? Robert felt like all the survival skills he knew were useless in the world. All things can be solved with just cultivation or brute force. It's not White Fang's fault that fish is dead before he could attack. They need dead fish anyway. White Fang was stunned after hearing him. And no way, it's dead already. It's weak. It's not that fish is weak, but you are so strong. Just then he saw that White Fang became serious and shouted. Be careful, something strong is coming from below. Robert instantly went on alert. He was ready for a battle. At this moment White Fang jumped into the air, and Robert felt that the ground was unstable. He nearly lost his balance, but it was not of his concern because he saw the object that appeared in front of him. The creature has huge bulbous heads, large eyes, and 8 arms. It is an octopus, and a giant one at that. It's nearly 50 meters big octopus. Although strange, Robert did not feel surprised after seeing the gain octopus. Maybe he has adapted to this world? Ding. A core formation realm spiritual creature is found. It is recommended to escape as soon as possible. A system wearing came and Robert snapped out of daze. Damn it, another core formation realm spiritual creature? How can these strong creatures appear one after another? He saw that Octopus waved the tentacles to attack White Fang, but White Fang dodged the attack easily, and said, even though you are at core formation, but you are truly weak compared to me. Even if it's weak, you do have to say it? Robert thought to himself. The octopus was angry after hearing her, so it increased the intensity of the attack. But no matter how it attacked, White Fang would dodge it easily. I don't have time to play with you. So die. White Fang felt bored after dodging for a while. Long nails grew on her, and the next second she transformed into silver light and mysteriously appeared behind the octopus. The difference is that there is blood on her hand right now. And then the octopus head was severed by her. Seeing this, Robert felt relieved. At least the danger is solved. Did you see that, Robert? I can kill the opponent of the same level so easily. Amazing, isn't it? White Fang stepped into the body of the octopus and said proudly. She was asking for praise. This was clear to Robert. Just as he wanted to praise her, his completion changed. He shouted hurriedly. Be careful, the octopus is not dead yet. Octopus arms can still move, even if they are detached from the body. Although it's only for a few moments, it can be deadly. Although he doesn't know if the same logic can be applied to the octopus in this world, but it's better to be careful. And his guess was correct. The octopus arms moved and attacked White Fang, who was standing on the body. And she could not dodge the attack because of suddenness and confusion. Having no choice, Robert picked up the harpoon and threw it at the octopus arm. The arm of the octopus was pinned on the ground. At this, White Fang also reacted and moved away from the octopus body. She had some lingering fear. If that attack could hit her, then most likely she will be injured if not dead. Robert arrived near White Fang and gave a bonk on her head and said angrily, Who told you to be arrogant? You almost died. How can you lower your guard, just because you defeated you, enemy? Robert felt angry because of her stupidity. That's why he hit her on the head. But after doing this, Robert regretted it. Even if she makes a mistake, it's not his place to lecture her. Chapter 12. White Fang's Home. She is a core formation spiritual creature. How can she tolerate this? But unexpectedly, she did not get angry because of this, but lowered her head like a child who had made a mistake and said, sorry. Robert sighed a breath of relief seeing this. At least she is not angry. He could not bear to scold her seeing her like this, so he simply said, It's not your fault, it's just you don't know about this creature, therefore you were exposed to risk. Just be more careful from now onwards. We have other problems now. We cannot eat much food and it's a pity to throw it away. So what should we do? Do you have any suggestions? To distract her, he asked the question related to food. And sure enough, after hearing about food, her ears stood up and she looked at the octopus greedily. Can we eat the one with 8 hands too? Is it delicious? Yes, we can, but there is too much, we cannot consume it alone. If we keep it like this, it will rot. Robert sighed. This is one of the problems in this world. He did not have any methods to preserve the meat right now. And he didn't know if the food will lose all the energy if it is kept for long. So for now the best option is to eat it all and leave nothing. But can he eat? He looks down at his stomach, then he shook his head. It's not possible. And it would be bad if other core formation spiritual beast will be attracted here. White Fang does not have much combat experience. He is confused about this. She is core formation realm and transformed 1 too, but she lacks combat experience. All of these 3 things should not fit together, but now it has appeared in front of him. As for how White Fang defeated the octopus so easily, according to Robert, that should be a female octopus that has just laid eggs. During the time the female octopus lays eggs, she guards the eggs and does not go hunting that time to protect the offspring. And at this person, they are very weak due to lack of food and for the fact that she gave birth. She must have been alarmed by the movement made by White Fang and surfaced. And then there was a fight between 2 hungry ghosts. In the end, White Fang won due to octopus weakness. But this does not solve the current problem they are facing right now. Only if the digestion could be faster. Host, the more energy you lose, the faster the digestion will be to replenish the lost energy. If you want the digestion to be faster, you can think of a way to consume your energy quickly and then eat to restore the energy. Just as he began to think of a method, System solved his query by saying this. Robert was startled after hearing this. The more energy I consume, the faster the digestion will become? But even if the digestion gets faster, he cannot consume the whole octopus in a day, right? It's too much even for his hell furnace. He is still confused about this, but at least he got a direction. But how can we consume energy faster? But all he could think is fight others to consume the energy in his body. Except for this, he did not have any more ideas right now, and he did not have the luxury to think. He has a headache thinking about this. For now, they should escape from this place, otherwise, other big guys will come here. But he could not take this gigantic body back to the cave in a short time. No way, although this place is closer to his home, it's not close enough for him to carry the octopus all the way. Little Fang, do you have any safe place nearby where we can cook and eat safely? We need to get out of this place as soon as possible. Robert asked White Fang. She is more familiar with this place, so she might know something about this. Yes, I have a perfect place in my mind. White Fang nodded readily. She understood as long as they find a safe place Robert will cook. Robert was felt pleasantly surprised after hearing her. Then you carry the fish and lead the way, and I will take the octopus and follow you behind. Robert didn't waste any time and picked up the octopus with much difficulty. He left the head in this place so that other predators will not follow them and get attracted in this place. It's as good that his strength has increased in the past few days, otherwise he might not be able to carry it. White Fang picked up the huge fish easily and said to Robert, let's go. Robert followed her while carrying the octopus. Robert felt tired like a dog. He thought the place should be near the lake. They have already been running for 10 minutes, but they have not reached the place. He has to carry the octopus. On top of that, he had to follow White Fang, in fear lose sight of her. And this White Fang is running too fast. The fish that big was nothing for her. But he felt miserable while carrying the octopus. Just as Robert wanted to stop for rest, White Fang said, We have arrived. This is my home. No one will come here. This is the safest place for us right now." White Fang said this. It turns out that it's her home. No wonder she said it's a safe place. She should be living here for a long time. Robert threw the octopus on the ground and sat on the ground, gasping for the breath. He looked around and noticed that there were forests all around, and in middle, there is a dilapidated house. Robert felt speechless after seeing the house. You a dignified core realm spiritual beasts live in a dilapidated
house. Wait a moment. A house.
Was this house made by humans? Then Robert shook his head. I cannot judge this world with my previous knowledge. Who knows if these houses are made by the spiritual creature? They already have wisdom, so it's not surprising to build a house. Chapter 13. Robert vs. White Fang. Both Robert and White Fang walked inside the room. The octopus was left outside even though White Fang wanted to take it inside and cook. Robert felt speechless. The house looks like it will crash down anytime. If he takes that huge octopus inside, it might crash down directly. Each time he has to step carefully. He feared that because of his weight the house might come down directly. Robert looked carefully around the house and found out that although the walls, window, door of the house were old and damaged at various scales, it's not the case with the foundation of the house. The foundation of the house is still perfect, with just slight damage. If it could be renovated, the house can become perfect once again. Do you live here for a long time? Robert asked White Fang. Yes, I have been living here alone since I was a child. White Gang stroked the wall of the house and answered Robert. Robert was surprised after hearing that she lived here alone. How was she able to survive till now? It's a miracle. Unknowingly they arrived inside the main room. Robert looked around and was dumbfounded. Because he saw a photo, not to be exact a painting. There is nothing to be surprised about a painting, but the fact is that there is a human inside the painting with a woman and a child. The woman looked similar to the White Fang, but she is more developed in some places. And that child should be White Fang. Judging from the painting, she should be 2 or 3 years old at that time. As for their relation, they should be her father and mother. Is that a painting of a human? Robert was curious about this question, so he asked curiously. But then he realized that the atmosphere had changed as White Fang moved away from him. And hairs on her body stood up. She was looking at Robert with caution. Robert was dumbfounded seeing the situation. What happened just now? Hey wait, what are you doing? Robert hurriedly asked as he was afraid that White Fang would attack him any moment. He is not her match if they fought. Who sent you here? Tell me. White Fang didn't answer her question, but asked this coldly. No one sent me here, I was born in this place. Robert hurriedly replied he didn't want this misunderstanding to escalate further. Lie. Since you don't want to tell me, then don't blame me for being ruthless. White Fang shouted and rushed toward Robert to attack. Robbery hurriedly rolled on the ground to avoid the attack. I think there is some kind of misunderstanding here. While dodging, he avoided her attack and tried to explain her. Don't lie. I thought you were my friend, but it turns out that you were sent here by those humans. I am stupid enough to believe that someone will make friends with a hybrid like me. White Fang's eyes were filled with tears when she said this. She thought that Robert treated her as a friend. She felt happy because it was the first time she made friends, but it turns out he was. As she was sad, she continued to attack Robert. But none of the attacks was deadly, so Robert could dodge it easily. Robert was in a hurry seeing her crying. At the same time, he was helpless. Who was sent by others? If one judges age by soul, then he is just a 1-week-old child, even though he did not look like that. So how can he have contact with humans? Seriously, no one sent me here. I was born in this place, believe me. Robert knew she was not attacking him with all her power. Otherwise, he would be dead long ago. Don't lie. If you are not sent here by anyone, so how can you know about humans? No one in the Dream Maple Forest knows about humans, so how can you know this? White was almost sure that he was sent by someone. Robert stood dumbfounded after hearing her. So that's why you are attacking me? Because I know about humans. Which one knows in the entire Dream Maple Forest? It was the first time he heard the name of the forest he was residing in right now. How can I be so unlucky that I have to go ahead and say something about humans? But he cannot say that he is a reincarnated individual, right? With the soul of a human and the body of a panda. Even if he tells her, she might not believe him. That's the problem. At this time he saw an opening and rushed forward. He pushed White Fang on the ground and sat on her back. Listen to me first. No, release me, you liar. I don't want to hear any more lies. White Fang struggled to stand up, but Robert didn't allow her to do that. But it will not last for long, he explained. I never knew about humans. It's just that I was born with these memories. It's my biggest secret that I have not told anyone. And you are my friend, that is why I am telling you this secret. He did not say that he is a reincarnated individual, but told her that he is born with these memories. And that is not a lie, he is just a newborn baby with the age of 7 days. And he remembered all the memories since he was born. White Fang stopped struggling and looked at Robert and said, Born with it? You mean bloodline inheritance? Robert was confused hearing her. What the hell is bloodline inheritance? But to clear the misunderstanding, he nodded without hesitation. That means you were not sent here by someone else? White Fang asked once again to confirm this. I have been trying to explain this for a long time. I was not sent here by anyone. Robert saw that she had calmed down, so he released her. That means we are still friends? White Fang asked hesitantly. She realized that it might be a fault on her part from the beginning. She attacked Robert without any reason. She was afraid that he might not want to be friends with her anymore. Thinking of this, her eyes were filled with tears. Finally, she got one friend, but because of her stupidity, she will lose this friendship. Yes, of course, we are friends. Like he will leave such a strong patron for just a misunderstanding. White Fang was surprised and delightful after hearing him. Just as Robert stood up, he saw White Fang jump on him and latched on him like a koala. Thank you, Robert, you are the best. She gave a lot of peck on his face continuously. She felt like she may lose her new friend, but looks like her worries were unnecessary. Because of this incident, she felt more closer to Robert. Chapter 14. The name of my ancestor is Panda. Now the situation has calmed down completely. They walked outside the room. He didn't want to stay here, although during the fight they did not destroy anything. It's better to be outside. This house should have a lot of memories for White Fang. It should be preserved. And after the fight, he is hungry now. And that octopus has been left outside for a long time already. Seriously, one octopus gave so much trouble, it's almost become an eyesore. After going outside, he made a fire with the primitive method of rubbing. But this time maybe he is stronger than before and he is not that tired. He then roasted the octopus. After the octopus tentacles were roasted, he told White Fang to eat. White Fang is happy. But Robert was not happy because it doesn't taste good. He felt like chewing paper. It's tasteless. Sometimes Robert even wished that he could have reincarnated without the memory of food taste in his mind. At least he could have enjoyed the food like White Fang. But it's not possible now. Robert bit on the octopus tentacle bitterly. He kept remembering the food of the previous life. And then compared it to the food in his hand. Sigh, why do I have to do this? It's like rubbing the salt on the wound. How good it will be if he could find salt. It can at least improve the taste of the food. It's not good to live in past. All he does now is to make the future better. Robert thought to himself, since he does not have spices to make food delicious, all he has to do is find it. Robert, this is too good, better than the fish I ate previously. White Fang happily munched on the food and kept saying praise one after another. Can this be considered good? If I could find salt and spices, I could make this food 100 times better. Since he decided to do this, he needs a helper, and who is better than White Fang presently? But to make her help him, he needs some bait. It's not that she would not help her without a bait. But if there is a bit, then she would be motivated to work. And there is no better bait than delicious food for White Fang. Sure enough, after White Fang heard this, her stood up and she looked up to Robert and asked hesitantly, Are you telling the truth? 100 times better than this. No wonder she is surprised. For her, this food is already considered as the best food, but now Robert is saying that there are more delicious foods than this. It's simply incredible. Yes, why would I lie to you? It's the truth, but it's a pity I can't find the spices and salt. Robert gave a sad sigh. Why is that? Do you not know their appearance? White Fang was anxious after hearing this. She wanted to eat the delicious food in Robert's mouth. I know what they look like, but I can't find them anywhere. White Fang was startled after hearing this. Robert, how do you know the appearance of the spices you are talking about? Have you ever seen them before? I have never seen them with my own eyes, but I have blood inheritance related to this and other spices. Robert cannot tell her that he ate all the delicious food in his previous life. So he decided to give all the credit to blood inheritance. White Fang's eyes were full of envy when she heard that it's from bloodline inheritance. Your bloodline inheritance is so amazing. In my blood inheritance, There are only some immortal cultivation techniques, array techniques, and alchemy techniques. It is of no use. My bloodline inheritance cannot be compared to you.
Robert, G.
Immortal technique?
A few? Array techniques? Alchemy?
He was dumbfounded after hearing the list of techniques mentioned by White Fang. All of them sound amazing, especially immortal techniques. And she said that my inheritance is better? Better my ass. I do not have any inheritance. He silently lowered his head. If it had not been for the envy in White Fang's eyes, he would have thought she was ridiculing him. Now Robert wanted to complain to the God who sent him in this world. Why can't he give him some cheats too?
Oh, that's not right. I have a cheat too. I have an evolution plugin.
Thinking of this, he raised his head proudly and said to White Fang, Of course my ancestors were amazing. They traveled all around the world to taste different delicacies, and made their name around the world and made a city of delicacies, which is famous all around the world for its delicious food. Robert started to bullshit. He cannot appear weak compared to White Fang. But after a few minutes, he regretted bullshitting. They traveled all around the world? Delicious food? City of delicacies? White Fang felt admiration for Robert's ancestor. She felt they were very cool. Robert, what's the name of your ancestor? White Fang asked curiously. She wanted to know the name of such an amazing person. Robert was stunned hearing her question. Why do you want to know this? But seeing her face, which was filled with curiosity, he was not able to refuse her.
His name was Xiao Pe. He is a strong warrior too.
So he simply talked about Pooh, the super panda. Anyway, he can be considered as the ancestor of Talking Panda. Okay, I will remember his name. White Fang nodded heavily and carefully thought of the name. Chapter 15. 3 Directions for Evolution. Just as they were talking, Robert heard systems prompt.
Ding.
Extraction of energy is completed.
Ding.
Whether to convert it into evolution points or experience points. Robert felt startled after hearing the system prompt. So he has the option to choose now? He has already thought he would convert all the energy into evolution points to evolve 2 to 3 times and obtain different talents. Currently, he has one chance to get a talent. He is not sure about what to choose right now. So it's better to save it right now and get other talents. He is in no hurry to upgrade his cultivation, as there is no threat of life. At least for now, he looked at White Fang and thought, although she is clumsy and appears stupid, she is a core formation realm, spiritual creature. She can suppress creatures with lower cultivation with just her aura. Since he has decided it's better to do it now. A host, it's recommended not to aim for evolution now. Just as he was ready to convert the energy into evolution points, he heard the system's voice.
Why?
Robert asked with confusion. Every time a creature evolves, it needs large amount of nutrition and energy itself. This problem can be solved by host's innate talent. Robert nodded. Yes, other creatures might face difficulty in getting energy to support evolution, but this problem does not exist for him because of his innate talent, Hell Furnace. With their innate talent of his, he can digest food materials with ease and convert them onto energy needed for evolution, with just a little time. The energy needed for second evolution will be 5 to 6 times greater than needed in first evolution, but the problem lies here. Host can collect all the energy for evolution, but can your body withstand all the energy input during the evolution process? Robert was startled after hearing about the system. Yes, that's right. Even if he has all the energy needed for the evolution process, if his body cannot withstand the input of all the energy, then before even the evolution is completed his body will explode. Robert felt a shiver in his spine when he thought of this. That is the type of death that no one will like. That's why it's recommended to upgrade your cultivation level before the second evolution. The minimum level of cultivation you need so that your body can withstand the energy is peak of chi condensation realm. Robert understood the system. It's better to become stronger so that he can withstand the second evolution. He still has 9 levels to go before he can evolve. A system, the talent I get after evolution, is it random? Robert felt curious about this. Last time, he evolved in Python's stomach, he obtained Hell Furnace. That time he ate Magma Jade and in the end, he got Hell Furnace. Are both of them somehow related? A host, every time you will evolve you will get 3 options for evolution direction. Mainly it is divided into 3 categories. First is defense, second is attack, and third is auxiliary. Last time host evolved in auxiliary direction and upgraded you auxiliary innate talent digestion into Hell Furnace. There are several parts of this talent that is currently locked because of host's low level. If you upgrade your cultivation, they will eventually be unlocked. Last time, because of the dangerous situation, the system decided to choose auxiliary direction, but next time when you evolve you can choose between any of 3. As for the talent obtained during the evolution, it all depends on various factors, but most of the times the talent obtained depends on the bloodline host possess. Inside the blood of every creature, many talents are developed or obtained by the previous generations. Another factor is the source of the energy the host used for the evolution. Like last time, host energy source for evolution was magma jade that resulted in the upgrade of your innate talent into hell furnace. Both of them are fire attributes. This is the talent that you obtained after your evolution. The system remained silent after saying all this. Robert was going through all the information he received from the system. He can go in different directions during the evolution process, so there is no need to worry about not having a strong defense and attack power. He just needs evolution for that. Talent obtained depends upon the bloodline and the energy source used during the evolution process. Like magma jade resulted in an upgrade of innate talent into hell furnace. Robert felt he cannot depend upon bloodline. Seriously, he didn't know if his ancestors were amazing or not. It's better not to place all the bets on bloodline, so he can only depend on the second factor, which is an energy source. Like magma jade, if he could find other materials that can be useful for defense or attack, then. So it comes back to square one, that is to find materials. He sighed. It's not easy to become stronger as he had thought before. Convert all the energy into experience points. He decided to upgrade his cultivation first. It will take a while before he can have the minimum requirement for evolution.